You wake up in your home and discover that all the exits are blocked by a mysterious wall, and now time is running out because your sanity is fading. This is the movie Brick, 2025. So go ahead and hit that like button, and let's dive into the story. This is Tim. He works as a programmer at a game company, and the deadline for the latest project is extremely tight, so his mind is racing. At the same time, he keeps having flashbacks of his pregnant wife. Trying to clear his head, he heads to the bathroom. His wife, Olivia, shows up and asks if he has a few minutes because she wants to show him something. As they leave the building, they run into the landlord, who says the renovation is almost done, soon the safety nets will be removed, and they're happy to hear it. Meanwhile, there's a massive fire at the city's port involving a major tech company. Olivia reveals her surprise. She went to the garage to pick up their favorite van. She makes a bold proposal. She quit her job so they could travel across Europe together. Now, she hopes Tim will do the same so they can rebuild those special moments. But Tim is fully focused on his work and says he can't leave. He's in the middle of a very important project. Olivia starts getting frustrated, and after that, she can't sleep at night, as if something is deeply wrong. The next morning, Tim wakes up expecting just another normal day, but Olivia appears dressed and ready to leave. She says she doesn't want to live with him anymore because he'll never change. But when she opens the door, they get a shocking surprise. A black brick wall is blocking the exit. The same thing is happening everywhere. They can't leave through doors or windows, and somehow even the internet signal is being jammed. But the lights, they're still working. Olivia gets even angrier at Tim, suspecting that he had planned something, but he has no idea what's going on either. Since she's an architect, she has some construction tools and tries using a mallet on the door, but it doesn't even leave a scratch. She starts drilling holes in different spots, but everything is surrounded by that same black wall. The only thing they can hear are their neighbors arguing. To figure out what's happening, Olivia drills through the wall between their apartments. The neighbors are also panicked, convinced that the Airbnb host is playing some twisted game with them. They're trying to calm themselves down using baking soda, while Olivia takes out her frustration on Tim, saying he should know what to do. She yells that this is just like the garbage games he makes, and that hits him hard. In a fit of anger, Tim throws his phone against the black wall. After a while, they both cool down, and Tim notices that a piece of the phone stuck to the wall. They start attaching various metal objects to it, realizing there's some kind of magnetic field, and in 4 specific spots, the pull is even stronger. They pile on more objects at those points, but they don't expect what happens next. The wall suddenly repels everything at once. Tim jumps in front of Olivia to shield her, and all the metal shoots into his back. Olivia realizes, in that moment, that he would do anything for her. Something goes wrong with the neighbors, and suddenly there's screaming. Tim starts drilling through the wall, trying to save the woman, and folks, that's exactly why some people die young, for getting involved in other people's problems. They find the woman lying on the floor with a cut on her arm. Just as they're about to leave, the man shows up and lunges at them, but Tim and Olivia manage to knock him out and tie him up so they can figure out what's going on. To make matters worse, the woman turns against them, claiming he didn't do anything wrong and that he only gets like this after using some experimental products. Later, Olivia finds a locked door in their own apartment. It's just an old storage closet, filled with junk. But inside, she discovers a disconnected mini camera, which seems suspicious. Meanwhile, the couple who had been losing their minds earlier, Anna and Marvin, now appear strangely calm and happy. Olivia comes up with a plan. They need to get to the lowest floors of the building. Since it's a structure from the last century, it likely has an old bomb shelter that connects to the metro tunnels, and it's probably still accessible. They start breaking through the floor. In Europe, most buildings are made of wood, so the idea makes sense. As soon as Tim drops down to the floor below, an armed old man appears. It's their neighbor, Oswald, furious and yelling for Tim to get back upstairs. He warns that, in situations like this, when the food runs out, things get ugly fast. He only lowers the weapon when his granddaughter, Leah, shows up and convinces him that they need to work together to survive. Now, everyone is on board with the plan and starts breaking through the floor. But when they knock out part of the ceiling, a smoke detector falls, and hidden inside is a mini camera. Oswald explains that the landlord had those installed for security reasons, but he was actually using them to spy on the tenants. By chance, the apartment next to theirs belongs to the landlord, so he must know something. They break through the wall and enter, ready to confront him. But it's too late. He's already dead, lying on the floor, his hands missing, suggesting that he tried to escape when the black walls appeared, and only managed to get his hands through before they were severed. Everyone is horrified by the scene. Marvin starts breaking through the floor to reach the basement, but the floor suddenly collapses beneath them, sending the group crashing down to the level below. Luckily, no nosy neighbor was waiting for them there. After all the noise, a man named Yuri appears. He says they're wasting their time, the whole place is sealed. He explains that his friend worked for the company that created all this, and the system is only activated during war or a major biological threat. It all started at the city port, and that's when they remember the fire that broke out the day before. Yuri shows them his deceased friend lying on the bed. He says that when the system was activated, his friend's pacemaker failed, and he died. But something seems off. The man is lying in bed with a red scarf wrapped around his neck, yet no one questions it. He had left behind several notes, as if he were desperately trying to escape before dying, which doesn't line up with Yuri's story. Not wanting to waste time, the group keeps breaking through to reach the basement. They finally make it, and at last, they're able to move forward. Following the tunnel, they come across the door to the subway. Hope is the last to die. They break through the metal bars sealing the entrance, but when they open the door, it's blocked, too. Everyone starts to panic, not knowing what to do. Yuri, on the other hand, seems pleased, as if he knew this would happen all along. In a fit of desperation, Marvin grabs the gun and fires at the door, but the magnetic field repels all the bullets. Everyone manages to hit the floor in time, except for poor Oswald, who's too old and ends up getting killed for free. Ironic, if he had just shot them back at the beginning, none of this would have happened. They start to wonder why they're even there. Could they have been chosen, like in Saw or some twisted social experiment? They look for patterns between them and realize that they've all gone through near-death experiences or deep personal losses. That's when Olivia finally opens up. She and Tim lost a child, and they never dealt with it. She takes the opportunity to air it all out in front of everyone, saying Tim buried himself in work and never spoke about it again, which is why she wanted to leave. And folks, just when things seem bad, remember, they can always get worse. The women search the room of Friedman, a man who used to work for the tech company. They find a bunch of notes, like he knew something and was trying to find a way out. Meanwhile, Tim and Marvin are in the landlord's apartment. Tim notices that the living room seems smaller than it should be. Marvin finds a keypad hidden behind a panel. It's protected by a code, but Tim comes up with an idea: use flour to detect fingerprints. After 24 tries, he gets it. Inside, they discover the truth: a hidden room filled with computers monitoring all the tenants. This is their chance to figure out what really happened. Yuri quietly slips away, knowing the truth is about to come out. Leah stays behind in Friedman's room, trying to uncover what he had learned. She realizes he didn't die because of the barrier, someone killed him. And then Yuri appears, apologizing. He says he can't let anyone leave. At the same time, the group watching the cameras uncovers everything. Yuri killed Friedman because he had figured out how to open the windows. By the time they reach the room, Leah is already dead, and Yuri is burning all of Friedman's notes. Now Marvin is out for blood, but they can't kill Yuri yet. He's the only one who knows how to get out. And finally, some answers. After the fire at the port, the city was sealed off by a nanotechnology barrier. Friedman believed it was a malfunction triggered by the accident. But Yuri, a full-on conspiracy theorist, thought it was a nuclear attack. When Friedman discovered the way out, Yuri killed him to protect himself. And now, we're left wondering, was he right all along? Yuri refuses to talk, so Tim checks the camera footage to find what Friedman was working on. It turns out Friedman had developed an app that could read the patterns on the wall, like a QR code. Since Tim is a programmer, he manages to recreate it on his phone. All that's left is to test it. It works. The wall begins to dematerialize. Anna runs to cross it, but Yuri starts laughing like a madman, warning that they're screwed. And he's right. The wall begins to regenerate. Anna gets caught in the middle, and is ripped in half. In a blind rage, Marvin unloads the gun into Yuri until there's nothing left. Then, he dies too. And honestly, for a guy who was constantly high, Marvin kept it together surprisingly well. With everything falling apart around them, Tim and Olivia decide it's time to talk. They can't put it off any longer, because there might not be a later. They forgive each other for everything they said, for all the pain they caused one another. There's no more room for regret. But there's no time to waste. they still need to find the correct activation sequence. The problem is, Yuri burned all of Friedman's notes. Then Tim remembers something from the security footage. The flash from Friedman's phone was actually what triggered the system. They piece it together and finally discover the right sequence. All they need now is to test it. But of course, good things never last. Yuri, evil incarnate, is somehow still alive, even after taking 3 bullets. He attacks Tim and starts beating him brutally while Olivia can only scream helplessly from afar. Olivia runs into the tunnel toward the subway exit while Tim struggles to hold the door. The activation sequence works, the system begins to react, but Yuri bursts in, ready to finish Tim once and for all. And once again, Olivia just watches. Until the last second, she grabs the axe they used to break through the floors and drives it straight into Yuri's head. Just like that, it's finally over. But they still make one last dumb mistake. They escape through the tunnel, and leave the axe and the phone behind, the only tools that could have helped save others. Meanwhile, across the city, the government issues a public statement saying that nothing was ever truly wrong. It was simply a malfunction in the company's security system that accidentally activated the lockdown. And now just imagine, how many people out there are still trapped, terrified, maybe even killing each other, all because they think it's the end of the world. And to keep yourself safe from this kind of crazy stuff, go ahead and leave a like, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I promise you, tomorrow can't be worse than yesterday, and it'll be better than the day after tomorrow. That's it for me, thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.